Hello everybody. Right, today I'm gonna go out on my bike and my mum's going on her new bike, which is an electric hybrid bike, they call it. But yeah, anyway, it's awesome. It's got a battery. It's gonna help her up the hills. We're gonna go have some takeout coffee, hopefully, do a little bit of exercise. And I'm gonna test out my vlogging situation because I've got a bit of a sort of springtime plan forming in my head. I haven't worked out all the details, but I think it could be quite good fun, and it does involve a bike, although it also hopefully will involve some EVs and some various other fun stuff. I'll go into a bit more detail in a minute, but first we have to hit the road because my mum is losing the will to live, waiting for me, faffing around with gear and cameras and whatnot. You know how it goes. Yeah, as you can tell, it's quite windy. So one of the things I'm trying to achieve today is working out what the limits are of my on the bike vlogging kit, and that will include also editing. Obviously not editing on the bike, but oh goodness, quite a crosswind, bit tricky with one hand. Yeah, anyway, mum should be back there somewhere and we're gonna go grab a coffee. Does that go without saying? Yeah, of course it does. Takeaway coffee, of course. But it's an essential component of all exercise on a bike. And all Tesla driving. In fact, all EV driving. In fact, just coffee. I know you're going to be out here anyway, but I just want to test the viability of my locking system. Okay, so that is in. Cheers. There you go, cappuccino's on top.
What's missing? I might send you.
And I bought some Millionaire shortbreads because just can't say no. And these look like the perfect cycling fuel to me. Just absolutely spot on.
Oh, I've got ones for me, James.
Testing out my new lock. Well, you can have one. I wasn't going to have them right now though.
No, that's fine.
Awesome. Right, so we're obviously back, and I will talk to you about my genesis of a plan after I've had a shower and sort of civilised myself. Had a bit of a seat post problem. I had to stop at Halfords and just quickly get it tightened because the problem with carbon, I'd adjusted it basically, and obviously I hadn't tightened that bolt enough. But the problem with the carbon seat post is if you over tighten it, you crack the carbon. That wouldn't be good. So yeah, so I stopped at Halfords and I borrowed their torque wrench. Just had saddle bag, a half frame bag and a front handlebar bag turn up because I am planning on using this bike to get me around the country a little bit. I mean, I'm not actually going to be like camping because I don't think that's, no. I mean, I might do a little bit, but if I'm going to camp, I'd rather have the car and a proper tent and stuff like that. Because, you know, the car's got air conditioning and tents don't have. And I'm more of a glamper than a camper. So the plan is I'm going to use this bike to go around England, Scotland and Wales and hopefully visit some people and see some cool stuff to do with EVs and things, and also hopefully just find some fun places to visit in the UK actually, because I never went travelling when I sort of finished university and I didn't go travelling before I went to university either. And I kind of feel like, you know, I have a bit of a travel-y bug that I want to, you know, get out. I want to experience a bit of an adventure, basically. That's the point, because I've got a few months in the spring, assuming the COVID regulations allow it, where I can get out there and see a little bit of the world. Granted, it's going to mainly be the country I was born in, but I won't have seen it from, you know, a bike. That's for sure. And there are plenty of places in this country that I haven't been at all either. And hopefully we'll be able to do some sort of EV type stuff and some renewable energy things as well. There's lots of different sort of projects, and I'm thinking in particular sort of things like the liquid air, you know, energy storage system, hydro dams, that kind of thing. I don't want to get nuclear radioactive, so I might steer clear of anything nuclear. Besides, they probably wouldn't want me turning up there asking for a tour anyway. You know, hopefully also we'll be able to sort of hook up with some of the other people who've been on my channel in the past. Yeah, I've got some emails to send and some planning to do, but I'm going to hopefully try and have a bit of a tour around the place. And partly what I was trying to achieve today was just sort of working out what kind of cameras I can take and what kind of editing equipment I can. I mean, basically, I'm not going to want to lug around my laptop on this bike. So ideally, I'm going to want to be able to do the editing on my phone, which I have done a bit of in the past, but it's going to be interesting to see how viable that is. Because I'd like to turn out a video a day, you know, especially if I'm out there on the road, do sort of 50, 60 miles, maybe up to about 100 miles a day, and then, you know, stop somewhere nice, do some editing on my phone, and, you know, spend the night in a B&B or at a mate's house. Again, when these things are doable and legal, which I suspect now that Boris Johnson has announced his coming out of lockdown plan, it's starting to look like by the time we get into May, quite a lot of these ideas will be doable. So, fingers crossed on that one. Yeah, so, very exciting. And I'm going to get back to checking out these various bags and getting them fitted on my bike, and we'll see how we go with that. And then, it's time to try out that phone editing. Let me know in the comments below if you think the quality of the editing is okay or not on this video. And yeah, and I'll let you know if it's, you know, reasonably efficient or not. I'm going to use Adobe Rush for anyone that's interested, which is just like a little phone app that lets you do some sort of basic editing, but, you know, to a reasonable quality, hopefully. All right, so I hope you've all enjoyed today's video, found it interesting and fun. If you have, remember to leave a like and share and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next episode of my vlog. Bye! This camera is not ideal for low light, so what I've just spent some time doing is putting gaffer tape on the frame to protect the paint from the straps, so that as I cycle along and it moves around, it doesn't cause too much trouble. And I can just about get that out, provided I don't fill this frame bag too full. And yeah, this is a bit interesting, mounting this here.